through the process of protein synthesis. So there's three parts to it. There's initiation, elongation, and termination, which I don't have on the board here. Those are the three main steps. Initiation is where everything kind of comes together. So let's go over what everything is. Okay, first of all, the ribosome basically clamps onto the messenger RNA. So this piece right here is the messenger RNA. This is the small ribosomal subunit, and this thing right here is the large ribosomal subunit. Then the transfer RNA that is going to bring in the first amino acid, the amino acid is right here, methionine, is going to attach via the anticodon to the codon. So the anticodon is just a base pair. So this is a base pair attraction just with hydrogen bonds. And it's also RNA, so adenine will bond with uracil, uracil will bond with adenine, and guanine with cytosine. So this part is the anticodon, and this part is the codon. So this is how it matches. This is specific to that amino acid, so it's going to bring in that specific one. So we have, basically all the players. We have the three types of amino acids: transfer RNA, ribosomal RNA, and messenger RNA. And they are all coming together in this one little bundle called the ribosome. And this, of course, is happening in the rough ER. All right, so the way the process continues is what's going to happen first is the small ribosomal subunit will move down. And when that happens, it activates the A site. So what will happen is that the transfer RNA that belongs to this A site will come in. Its anticodon would be G, U, G, and it's going to have a specific amino acid. So the way to tell what the specific amino acid is from this table. This is a table of the codons. These are the RNA codons. And you notice that AUG was my start codon, so that's the one that we started with right here. But the next one is CAC. So CAC, if you look at this table, is histine. Okay, so histine is going to be the amino acid that's attached to the transfer RNA that will come into this site. Okay, so then what's going to happen over here, if you look, histine is going to then attach to the amino acid methionine. All right, and how it does that is via dehydration synthesis. It takes some energy to do it. It's of course called a peptide bond, and it's going to attach there. And when that happens, after that happens, then what is going to happen is the small ribosomal subunit will move down. The next transfer RNA will come in, carrying with it its amino acids. So in this case, ACU. If you look down here on this table, ACU was threonine. Okay, so threonine is going to be its specific amino acid. They are going to bind with the last amino acid in the chain. All right, so what happened though, that is kind of harder to explain really than it is to really understand, is that this large subunit had moved down. So this one was in the A site. So these are the APE sites. This one, this amino acid, this histine, was in the A site. So over here, that was the A site. So that's where it was. And what happened was the large unit, when it moved down, the A site now is over here, the P site is here, and the E site is here. So ultimately, this whole thing just moved down one. So now this would be the A site, this is the P site, and this is the E site. All right, so that's what happened. It's the hardest thing to understand really, because it's hard to draw. All right, so anyway, what happens with the one in the E site is that it will let go of its amino acid. Notice that amino acid is attached to the last amino acid in the chain, or the next amino acid in the chain, and it will go off to collect, in this case, another methionine. So it's going to go off into the cytoplasm. So this one is like the exit sites. That's how I always remember that one. And APE or EPA, whichever way you want to remember it, is a fairly easy acronym to remember. All right, so repeating, what would happen next is the small ribosomal subunit would move down. The large one would also move down. That would make this one then in the E site, this one in the P site, and then we would get a new one in this site. So this is a copy of the steps. So I'll give you a chance to write it down, or you should, to stop the video and write this down. All right? Now the last step is what we call termination. Now in termination, what happens is that the release factor is going to bind with the A site. I'm having trouble finding my termination one. Okay. Okay, well,